Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good evening everybody. Welcome to Militiaman and Crew. We're all glad that you're here with us tonight. It's going to be an exciting time because there's a lot of exciting things that are happening in Iraq and around the world. And we're going to see a few things that have been talked about. We have the Ministry of Finance Minister Taif Sami and the British Ambassador, what's his name, is Stephen Hitch. Stephen Hitch and those guys got together today and they talked about steps of Iraq's accession to the global financial system. Well, that's pretty fascinating because if you're going to have accession to the global financial system, it sounds like you're going to move up in the world. That's what it kind of means. Not to mention the World Trade Organization is waiting patiently for Iraq's ability to get certain things acknowledged and stabilized and agreed to, if you will. They have some obstacles to get over, as you're going to see, that the World Trade Organization wants them to do, and that obstacle is most likely their exchange rate. Being Article 8 IMF compliant is going to be a very key component for that to happen. So with the British Ambassador and Taif Sami having some meetings today, they discussed basically their accession to the global financial system. It says it's noteworthy that Iraq seeks to meet the requirements of joining the World Trade Organization. So here you have an accession to the global financial system, and then they're also talking in the same breath about the Iraq joining the World Trade Organization. Whether you and I like that or not, whether what you feel it means or to you or me, to me it's irrelevant, because the fact remains is that people are going to make money for trade, and that's just the way the world works. And if we want to vote, we vote. Okay. So basically it says that there's some specialists out there that believe that unless the organization and economic legislation and reforms are achieved that overcome obstacles facing the file of Iraq's secession, it will require more efforts to create all those necessary requirements to facilitate its mission to obtain full membership. Well, we all know what it takes to become full membership. You're going to have to be an Article 8 compliant country and be in the global international world. So see how that turns out. It says here that out of Baghdad, it says al-Nusuri, the central bank's statement is a roadmap to ensure monetary stability. So monetary stability is not a parallel market. Monetary stability is not an illegal black market. It is basically what everybody else does in the world. They don't have multi-currency practices. So Iraq's been plagued with having this black market. It's a fake market. It's actually been known now to be a market that has been exposed for what it really is. It's a lot of criminals ripping off the citizens and ripping off themselves and other criminals. And I'm not making it up. But in this particular case, it says the advisor to the Association of Iraqi Private Banks confirmed that the central bank's statement is clarifying some basic facts related to the exchange rate of the US dollar in the local markets, and a role of the central bank in providing foreign currency through its official sources is the roadmap for this new phase they talk about. It's to achieve stability in the money market. We all know that Iraq has an official exchange rate that trades between 1310 and 1320, depending on which type of the transaction you're pulling off. But they have announced that their official exchange rate on their website is 1310, but buying it can cost as high as 1320. So we all know that that's going to change in the near future because it is not an internationally compliant exchange rate. We do know that they have posted things in their budget, and they have it worded so that it looks like they say it's 1300, but we know that we believe there is subject to clauses for line item adjustments in a budget that can be changed at the right time. So we're going to see how that turns out. Basically, it says that they're reiterating that they have a central bank law number 56 of 2004 through its inspection and oversight teams is constantly addresses the obstacles that prevent small traders from entering the electronic platform. and to facilitate them targeting their gains and securing the necessary flexibility for them to obtain the dollar at the official rate, facilitating taxes and customs procedures in accordance with the government agencies. So basically what they're trying to tell you here is that that law is effectively stating that you need to use the dinar and not the dollar. And they're going to not deviate from it. So we've talked about it before. Al-Nasuri says he concluded his speech by telling everybody and inviting competent agencies, the media, merchants, businessmen, citizens, corporate entities, government measures. Look, these guys have put stuff into place. They're working to implement instructions and regulations of the monetary authority for the purpose of what? Maintaining the stability of the exchange rate and the recovery of Iraqi dinar. They want the recovery of the Iraqi dinar. Well, the recovery of the Iraqi dinar is not from 1460 to 1310. The recovery of the Iraqi dinar is to get back to a real effective exchange rate, one that's supported in the marketplace by value, by assets, about the new money that's coming in from the borders, the electronic systems that are going to be tapping into that. So all of that corrupt, all those trillions of dinar that you've seen leave, you saw 3 trillion be clawed back or being on the table to be clawed back just the other day. Sadly, some people are not around here anymore, or aren't breathing anymore because of that certain circumstance. A lot of people are in jail from it, sadly. But that's their deal. That's not ours. The fact remains is that if you're going to keep cheating, you're going to keep not playing by the rules, the new systems and the new global systems, they're going to do what they do, and it's not me. It's just the way it's going to work. Basically, what Iraq is stating is that they have about $113 billion in reserves, and they're openly telling you our dinar is our sovereignty. Well, exactly. So let's get on it. Do it. Get it done. And that's what we're seeing. I think that they are doing it. I think they're going to be doing it quite quickly now. And I think that we're going to start watching some circumstances unfold in a very short period of time. Whether that's this week or not is to be determined, but they're openly showing that they are doing things that suggest that they're doing things today, tomorrow, the next day, next week. They're moving forward. They're not going to stop. Again, the finance minister, Taif Sami, she chaired today a meeting with the Director General of Accounting Department. They're talking about the Unified Treasury Account. Representatives of the government, bank representatives, the Office of Financial Supervision, Central Bank of Iraq, that's Ali Alak, the Iraqi Trade Bank, Private Banking Association, to discuss requirements for designing and implementing the Unified Treasury System. Well, I'm fairly sure that that's the monies that come from the hydrocarbon law or anything that's related to the citizens' benefits. That Unified Treasury Account, we've talked about it. It's actually a big deal. It was part of their budget, their 23, 24, 25 budget. They have indicators that suggest that that's exactly what's going on with that. Basically, it's towards reforming the financial sector and the optimal implementation of the stages of the Unified Treasury Account project. So here again, you have a project that's being talked about. Well, Alak just recently came back. He was the central banker. Did he not tell us that the delete the zeros from the exchange rate project is still underway? It still exists? He sure did. You can go to Patreon, type in the search menu, delete zeros, Alak, use keywords. It's really simple and fast and furious. I suggest you do it because you're going to see a lot of information that supports what we're talking about. All these articles can be found in Patreon and in the Discord. The great Samson, she's there on a regular basis, feeding us every day in early hours of the morning, our time in the United States, late night in the southern hemisphere of this planet. So it's fascinating to see how much information we have on a consistent basis, whether it's me analyzing things or even the crew members going over specific things, doing videos, audios. It's all wonderful information. A lot of people do a lot of support work in our room. So if you have a time, check it out. The value's there. It's great. Here we have the senior delegation of the Democrats discussing in Baghdad the agreement with Erbil and the oil and gas law. Well, this has been on the table since 2003, 2004, and they're finally actually hammering it out because why? Because of the time's right. They know that there's come a time where they're going to have to change the value of their exchange rate. They're going to have to value their assets, and they're going to do that, and they're going to have to do it in an equitable manner that fits the needs of the citizens and the country. And so today they were talking about, they're discussing the draft oil and gas law, and we're going to see what she has to say. Taif Sami has been at this for quite some time. That unified treasury account, that's where the money is going to be stored. That's where the money is going to go through. It's going to be monitored. It's going to be accounted for. And obviously, they have some of the largest accounting firms in the world monitoring Iraq. And so let's see how they play this out. I think it's pretty fascinating. It says the next thing is the parliamentary services. The budget has allocated large sums of money to deal with lagging projects. So we've had projects that have been lagging for years. And so to rebuild this country, you're going to really need to have the money, and you're going to have the wherewithal to be able to implement the projects that have already been started. And you're going to have to prioritize those, and you're going to have to monitor them. And that's exactly what these guys are talking about. It says basically that the budget has allocated large sums of money to dealing with those lagging projects. So they've had it on the table. It says the tripartite budget, we know that's the 23, 24, 25 budget, allocated large number of investment budgets. 80% of lagging projects have been allocated to treat them, so they have the money for that. Financial abundance is sufficient to deal with the lagging projects. I'm going to remember, if you're trying to buy widgets at $1,310 dinar to $1, you can't get very many widgets with a large amount of dinar, right? So once they change the value of their currency to reflect a real effective exchange rate, things become a lot more cheaper for Iraq, especially if they have the backing to prove that they have a value related to their oil, their gas, their natural resources, their tourism, all those things that we've talked about. That's on the table. You can't forget that stuff. They can easily meet a similarity to Kuwait. I mean, they're a bigger country. They have more assets. They have more oil. They have more infrastructure to be built. They have everything going for them. So let's just be patient and see what these guys do. But they're definitely undervalued at this moment in time. And they haven't gone to the international stage at 1310, and they haven't done it today. The chances of them doing it is highly unlikely that the international world will accept Iraq at 1310. They're trying to level the playing field. They're not trying to lie to the world. So the value is going to be there. There's a lot of people in this world that hold Iraqi dinar as an investment, just like us, and they expect a return on their investment, and they're going to. Look at the Iraqi Stock Exchange. It's been on steroids recently. It's going to change. Those companies that got devalued, all those banks that got devalued, you don't think that they don't want to come back and get their share value back up to where it was based off true market value or fair market value? I would probably suggest that they're really motivated to do so. And we're going to see evidence of that, obviously, in the very short term, because they've already told us that they have the ability for the securities depository system to be in place as of today. And so that being taken care of, if that's the case, we're going to find out about it, because it's really a big deal. It says the publication of the budget law in August says the financial projections of its impact on the implementation of projects. So obviously, here's again, it's a focus to have an implementation time frame. The implementation of the budget by the ministries and agencies not associated with the ministry and the governance of the publication of the budget law and its implementation instructions in the official gazette. That was today. So it's going to be an enforce situation. So I guess what we're really kind of waiting to see, so they published it, it's going to be in force. Well, then when is the spending part of it? Okay, it says that the official Gazette today, the 7th day of the month of August in 2023, it says that the tripartite budget instructions have entered into force. So we're going to see in a very short period of time, what does that really mean? When it's in force, does that mean that they can start spending money? And the answer to that question is, my assumption is that they're going to be able to do that very, very quickly. And I would think that since the hydrocarbon law that Dave Sammy talked about, that tripartite budget is going to have a profound effect on all the citizens of Iraq and their future revenue stream that they're going to be able to tap into as being a citizen of the country, because they're all going to benefit from it. And basically this last thing here, it says that Mohammed Shia al-Sudani today met with heads of international assessment team concerned with combating money laundering and terrorist financing. So again, some of these guys that they caught with 3 trillion dinar, we have the crime of the century. They're going to try and claw back all that money, and they're going to be able to do that with new systems. The idea that a floating currency at 1-to-1 with a new system, the new electronic system, it just doesn't seem to fit the bill that's going to ever work. I haven't really seen anybody out there yet describe how does that work mathematically for them to do that. I believe that a real effective exchange rate is going to be significantly different than what people think, or what people think that they're trying to convey to you. I could be wrong, but just let you know that electronic system is fast and furious, and it's going to be based off a level playing field, which is real effective exchange rate. And shout out to Walking Stick. You kept me focused on that. Thank you very much, sir. The importance of cooperation of international bodies and friendly countries with Iraq in combating money laundering and recovering wanted persons. We already know that they've been doing that. They've arrested people. They've been doing that for weeks to months. They've also talking about recovering assets. They're going after sleeping terrorist cells, extremist ideology, they're out against violence, and they're basically trying to defund those that are doing all this nefarious actions. Whether it's not me, it's just what I'm reading to you from their news, and obviously we all can see that it's exciting times. And so far, al-Sudani, Taif Sami, Moshe Alak, central bank governor, they've been working hard and behind the scenes to present the world a country that's ready for accession, not only to the global financial situation, but into the World Trade Organization. So let's see what happens. If you're not excited, I don't know what to say, because it's really pretty powerful. Thank you for being here. If you like my content, please subscribe. And if you feel like you want to keep this place going with the content, with that value, hit those donate buttons. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel, or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and have a great day.